everybody? Welcome into another episode of Hoop State Hoopla. Miles Massarola here, Anthony Simmons. It's a great time of the year. Feast week here at the Hoop State Network. 3 events, 3 locations, 3 area codes. We got the PHENOM LAKESGIVIng, Lake Norman High School. That'll be live on hoopstatelive.com. We got the Hoops and Dreams Showcase presented by Lucas Moore Realty. That'll also be on hoopstatelive.com. And then we have the Hoop State Hoopsgiving going down right here in Raleigh at Word of God Christian Academy. Simmons, you ready for it?
Absolutely. It's a great time of the year. Not only is it Thanksgiving, but at the same time, a lot of teams are just starting out. Like, really, it's officially basketball season, right? We've had some schools that's had the pleasure of playing a couple of early games, and then there's been a few schools that they really tip off this week. So just excited to kind of like see everybody, and so then the chatter can start.
All right, Friday night, 6:30 p.m. in Raleigh at Word of God, Hoop State Hoopsgiving. Nate Ament comes down to North Carolina to take on Cole Clower and Orange. So Highland versus Orange, 2 of the top wings in the country regardless of class. We got to see Nate Ament a little bit. I know you said you did a little film study. How do you see that matchup going down, Simmons?
It's a tough one. I feel like this is a great opportunity for Cole Clower. Nate Ament is the goods. He's that deal. Everything that Pasta said, the way he described him, he's that. And then the thing of it is, too, is he's playing on a team that's a state championship team from last year. So it's more than just him. It's a difference of contrast of styles. Basketball played a little differently in North Carolina, Virginia. So I'm excited about the matchup. But for Orange, the team, I think this is a great measuring stick. You can kind of see where you are, play against a team that you know, like, they're playing this season to repeat as state champions, right? So this is going to be great film, win or lose. I think it's a great matchup for both teams.
Yeah, I do too. And I think, like you said, it's a big-time opportunity for Cole Clower to go up against a 5-star kid a year ahead of him and kind of prove, like, if you hang with him, you got a real chance. Like, and that's the biggest thing. And I think Cole's going to do more than just that. And for Nate, you're coming in. You're a kid that's being recruited by Tobacco Road schools. You have a Duke offer. You're kind of in an area where it could be your future backyard, and you get a chance to show these people what they might get to see at the next level. So that's a big opportunity for both of them. We're excited for that one at 6:30 Friday night. And for the Fayetteville crowd, Friday night, 7 p.m., Richmond Senior, Fayetteville Academy, a public-private matchup. You got NC State commit Paul McNeil. Coach Mims and his Fayetteville Academy team is really, really good. They're deep with talent. How do you expect to see that one go down? And what do you expect from Paul in his senior year this year, too?
Victory lap. I think last summer, Paul McNeil proved what he is, a true 3-level scorer. Pretty much showed us everything, ability to get to the rim, game winners, midi, a big-time shot maker. I think now it's about polishing. He going back to Richmond. Of course, he would like to end his career with a state championship. You know, Paul, like, I don't even think he's looking for it now. I think in the high school, in North Carolina public school, his game is so good that, like, 30 gets to him, right? So the step for him now in the growth and maturity of his game is if he uses this year to kind of start working on some things that will help him at the next level. But the fact that you got a Fayetteville Academy team with Coach Mims being from Fayetteville in his own backyard with transfers, another great opportunity for a younger team to kind of see where they are, right? Because from a team defensive standpoint, if you can make it tough for Paul McNeil, if you can somehow, some way contain him, you can use that strategy and those styles later on in the year if you face similar teams.
And I think the other thing is, too, with Mims' team, they have a lot of creators. They got Tatum. They got the Johnson boys. They're going to be really, really good. And for McNeil, like you said, like, it's about polishing. It's about refining your game. You've established yourself. You don't really have a whole lot to prove. You want to put some hardware in the cabinet. But at the same time, like, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to have different defenses thrown at him and stay ready. And then he also has to get ready for the next afternoon when they play Millbrook. And he'll have a big-time wing matchup with Cole Langdon, who is coming in with a point to prove this year at Millbrook. What do you expect to see from that matchup? And that Millbrook team this year, they have a lot of talent just out within Colt and beyond Colt.
Fireworks. You know how in college, how you have that, you know, early on, like the champions classics, those games where like the Duke, the Michigan State, the Kentucky, Kansas kind of play each other.
Yeah.
When you look at North Carolina public school basketball and the players like Richmond and Millbrook are both known programs, everybody gets up to play Millbrook. This is Millbrook's actual first game. So that's the only part I think that's kind of tough, right? You want to kind of have a couple of games. I'm pretty sure they have some scrimmages and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like previous to this matchup. But for Millbrook, like, to go out and get a win versus Richmond, that sends a statement. For Richmond to go out and get a win against Millbrook, it's a statement. So the kids have a lot to play for, so I think this is going to be a great game with, like, 2 stars headlining the matchups, right?
Friday, 8 o'clock at the God. We got a Hoop State Championship special. This one's going to be spicy. Word of God, 1 of 1. 1-of-1 didn't have their best weekend at the George Lynch Invitational, but they have a lot of really, really exciting young players. They play really fast. They play frenetic. And Word of God's got, I'll just say, he's the best player in the state of North Carolina, Jayden Quaintance. How do you see that one going down?
Hood Classic alert. It's on the south side, Rock Quarry Road. I think it's going to be a very up-tempo basketball game. A lot of emotion, a lot of talking. I think we're going to have a Where's Donnie alert. Their identity is they don't back down from anybody, right? Both of these schools get up for matchups like this.
They you know epitomize anytime, anywhere.
And I think, so like if we want to break it down and be more intentional, a little more serious, for Word of God, I think right now you're looking for a signature Word of God win.
They're usually good for 1 or 2 around this time of year.
This one would be one for them. For 101, you're looking to bounce back and be who people think you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's a team that could potentially win a Hoop State championship.
I completely agree. And I think the biggest thing, too, for 1-of-1, Johannes Connor is one of the best players in the state, regardless of class. He did not have a good weekend this past weekend. I expect him to come out Friday night in Raleigh with a point to prove. He's really, really, really talented. I'm not saying he's this player at all, so don't take that. He plays a lot like how you think a Donovan Mitchell would play, like a kind of an undersized combo guard, but can really go score.
I see what
you know what I
saying.
mean? Can make shots, can get to the rim. He's not him. That's an outrageous thing to say, but like he's in that mold. There's shades of. So with that being said, I fully expect him to bounce back. We'll see if Javonte Ware's healthy. He was out. We'll see if he comes back. He's a big-time player. When he's in the lineup, 1-of-1 is a different team. And they also have 2 Raleigh kids coming home. LJ Rush.
You know how I feel about him.
Yeah, real deal. Could play for you any day of the week. And then Tayshawn Smith, another big from Raleigh, 2025 kid at 1-of-1. He had a really good weekend at the George Lynch Invitational. I expect him to come out. And for Word of God, like you said, that signature win, they're due for one. I feel like at some point here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, they're going to get one, so why not make it Friday night at home? Saturday afternoon, another big-time matchup in the 2025 class. Caldwell Academy taking on Highland School. Jalen Cross, Nate Ament, 3:30 in the afternoon at Word of God.
For guys like this, it's about your progression, right? For guys that are ranked in the top 50, the biggest thing for me is like, don't get complacent, right? Understand that development is a process all the way through. High school, college, pro, like you're still developing, right? So don't be one of those guys that I play when the competition, when they're on this high level, right? Take it serious the whole time. You're top 50 guys. You see what I'm saying? So for them, I think it's something on the line. I'm just glad we got this game in North Carolina. And so for me, I want you, I've seen Cross a few times, but give me and give the people a breakdown of what we can expect from Mr. Cross. Yeah,
kind of piggybacking off what you said, like with those guys, how are you developing? How focused are you on that? I think the reason people are so high on Jalen Cross is that his development has been a rocket ship, and there's still a lot of fuel left in the tank. Like he is continually progressing as just a big-time do-it-all wing in the state of North Carolina. He's like 6'5". He's a big-time 2-foot leaper. He can shoot the ball. He had that 70-point game this summer that everyone talked about.
He went deep ball?
Yeah. He had a 70-point game. It was ridiculous. He did that. He played with CP3. He has games at Peach Sham, and I'm getting phone calls like, what's the deal with this kid? Like, why is he so good? And I think for him, it's about being that day-to-day, every single day producer. Kind of like Nate Ament. Like they're both very similar. They're both mature kids. They're both highly sought after 2025 players. But for Cross, it's about how can you lead your team? He's got other good pieces around him. They got a big and Ahmed Jallow that's pretty good. They got Aiden, the point guard Aiden, who can really shoot it. How does he utilize those pieces around him and find a way to best use what he has to help his team win a game against a good team? And I think that's the thing with Cross. He's a smart player. He's got the skill, the brain, the athleticism. Is just all coming together for him. All right, and switching it up to the 7:04 at PHENOM LAKESGIVIng, 6 o'clock Saturday night. Carmel Christian taking on Central Cabarrus. Simmons, have we seen like a set of winners like the Daniel twins and Kent in North Carolina recently? Because they've just been on an unprecedented tear.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. But what I need to know is, are they really like that? Because in the latest Phenom rankings, they got them boys ranked #1 over Myers Park. Know about that, brother. Like, that's saying a lot. Now, I understand they won a state championship. They've taken a year around. They did some things on the AAU side, right? And I think there was a random tournament last year where they made a special run in that too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, they resume crazy right now. They hot. But I still need to see it.
I don't think you can rank anyone else in the state, public, private, or independent, higher than them.
And you said that like you standing on business.
Yeah, and I'll say this because if you look at their pedigree that they've done over the last few years, we'll start it with last fall. They win the Hoop State Fall League. They beat TBS in the semis by 40. They beat both Word of God teams, which were split evenly, and that Word of God team first semester last year was loaded.
Right, because they had De Leon.
So they beat the team with Freddie and Mayar. They beat the team with Davin and Isaiah. Beat them both by double figures. They win the Hoop State Fall League. They go undefeated, win a state championship. They go to the championship with the Throne, where I forgot who they lost to in the championship, but they beat John Marshall. They beat Simeon. So these are national names that they're beating. They go undefeated in the summer. They go 7-0 against shoe teams. They win the Hoop State Fall League again, and here we are.
You know what? I made sure apology to the Daniel twins. Sponsors ran the receipts. And I think y'all snuck bird. so before
and handedly.
Right. So that hit me. Hold up, Pasta. See how Pasta throw it on the bus. Pasta gave me the leg drop. We gotta talk about out the clock. But I gotta give y'all credit for y'all read my receipts to see my affiliation. Try to come at me on Twitter. So I apologize to you guys for Central Cabarrus. Look forward to seeing you at Lake Don't do it all. You want basketball in North Carolina? Come to the Hoop State. Soon to be now.
We live, man. Oak Hill Combine, man. We're getting ready to tip off. About to be lit in here, bro.
Stay solid. We're going to make history, dog. I'm telling you.
They going for 3, dog. That's it. Tie game. That's tie ball game. Tie ball game. I just caught it.
The support that the basketball community has. I mean, I guess they call it Hoop State for a reason.
Leesville, Millbrook, Part 2. It is absolutely electric. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. We back, in my city.
That was Dave Cunningham.
Taking a look at the rest of the schedule for Hoop State Hoopsgiving, our inaugural Hoop State Hoopsgiving, what are some of the games, some of the teams, some of the players that kind of catch your eye?
First, as always, we do have to talk about Enloe Garner. That's always going to be a spicy game. It's always going to be a popular game. It's always going to be competitive. I think right now in Raleigh, there's a question about who is that team.
No,
there's a lot up
it
for
feels like
grabs
the
right
city
now.
is for the taking.
Yes, those are the perfect words, right?
Yeah.
And Enloe wants parts of that. Garner wants parts of that.
Millbrook is not on my watch.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just it's one of those things where I think it's a lot of eyes, and then you got 2026s, you got Kingston Bill, you got Juice Coleman, of course you got Poobie coaching the guys, you got the Whitner boys from Garner.
They can make shots.
So it's a lot of elements in this game that should be spicy and should be competitive. And I'm looking forward to that one, man. I think that's going to be a good one.
Definitely. I want you to talk about Southeast since you are a Bulldog alum. But they have a couple big games, and that one with Jackson Keith catches my eye because he's one of the biggest mismatch guys we have in the state of North Carolina. So I'm intrigued to see what Coach Graves does to try to stifle him and make life difficult for him. But Southeast has a couple big games, and they're experiencing a little bit of a renaissance as a program right now, and I want to give you a chance to talk about it.
So I'm probably going to gas my guys real quick. I'm going to be professional about it because I was about to bark 4 or 5 times for no reason. But, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that, that people, get hear the love about my boys. But it's the true situation where started from the bottom, now we here for Southeast. And the reason why I say that is this core has been through tough times. I
remember going to Fall Open Gym a couple years ago, and it looked pretty bleak, but they've worked.
Right, and they have grown up. They've taken all their losses on the chin, and now they're ready. And I think they go 8-9 deep. And the thing about Southeast Raleigh teams being alumni, shout out to my coach, my OG, John Baker. Our teams are really good when the teams are close, right? I'm the sports director at the Southeast Raleigh YMCA. So I see these guys weekly and all summer, and they were in there daily, and they were always coming in 7, 8, 9 deep. It wasn't 1 or 2, right? They weren't just playing free play. They were going to baskets, getting shots, working on driving kicks, lifting together, running together. So I've had a chance to kind of be a fly on the wall, and it's just They want this opportunity. Last year, they lost in the conference tournament championship. They lost a tough game in the playoffs. But I'm here to tell you, like, Southeast this year is not going to be an easy out, bro. Like, they're not. Yeah, no, and I think, like you said, there's something about a group that has been through wars together and gets through the other side of it, and now they're ready for a run. And shout out to Coach Graves, because he's put in a lot of work building that up to what it's going to be this year, and we're excited to have them in this event. Trinity Academy, I know you coach Cam Prince. He's a big-time breakout candidate. It could be a big event for him. Absolutely. Love the fact that we got Cam in the Raleigh area now, playing for Brian Burrell. Had a chance to see him play this weekend. I love the new role that he's in, playing the point guard position. Like, I was kind of just letting him know that, you know, like, it's good now that, like, he's put in a situation where he's not comfortable. Mm-hmm. Right now, there's beauty in him being uncomfortable, right? There's beauty in him going through, you know what I'm saying, like, these changes and learning how to play with the ball in his hands a little more and get others involved. And for this team, he has to be a leader. Mm-hmm. Also, DJ West plays for them as well, and I like, you know what I'm saying, things I've seen of him. And then I'm looking, and he wears a size 15 shoe. Yeah, and we know about the pedigree and the bloodline, so it's a matter of time before we blink, and he's 6'10", shooting fade. Mind you now, like, he really on some two-guard stuff, so he gets 6'8", 6'9", like, he's going to be a problem. And we know Dave, like, takes the development stuff seriously. For sure. So, like, that he's going to work, and as the physicals catch up, for sure. You're completely right, but I'm excited about this event. Anytime we get to do something in Raleigh, I know how much we both love this city, how great it is to be here. It's awesome. I think there's going to be buzz in the gym all day long. Now, I'm saying this, but at the same time, going back to this moment, it was absolutely smacking in there, so I don't think it'd be like that. But remember when we had, like, the Baby Wall joint? Yes. It was crazy. The one day. But it was slow at first, and then it was like, what? But I think it's because it's a 2-day. Right, so people gonna see this. They're gonna start seeing the people are in town, and then it's like it's in the area where you right off exit 300. Like, it's in a great location. You're 5 from downtown. Yeah, I think it could be all right in there. I think it could be all right. Yeah. And lastly, a 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon showdown, 1A bump, public 1A bump. Wilson Prep, South Wake Academy, 5 o'clock Saturday at the God. This is a big one. This is gonna be an entertaining game. Got a chance to see both teams this weekend. Want to shout out my guy Quentin Austin at Southern Wake. Like, I knew Quentin could coach, right? But, like, he was really out there like a signal caller, right? They took a tough loss. This past weekend, but Alex looked really well. Like, Chris Crudup looked really well, and I think, like, taking a step back and being a coach, like, the one way you really judge a coach is when they go to their bench, right? And to see Quentin's bench step out once the starters came off the floor and not only maintain the lead, but allow him to coach them and be able to run their stuff and get looks. That's the true mark of a really, really good basketball team. So what you're saying is minimal drop-off. Yes. And then with Wilson Prep, like, you're talking the possibility of 3 championships in 4 years for them if they was to do that. Like, and that's where you start hearing dynasty talk. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's what Ant Atkinson's about, right? And then I also want to shout out Ant because the growth I saw in him as a coach this weekend, right? Like, he's known, like, I saw a little time before the game and I was like, listen, my highlight of last year's basketball season was when you performed with the Lil Uzi, I Wanna Rock. He did that for literally 55 seconds before a game. And, like, the last person to outshine him like that was John Wall when he did the Dougie for 3 minutes. Yeah. But, Ant Atkinson, no, he went into full routine. Like, he did the whole routine. Like, I watch it. Like, Mayar would have been proud of him. Sometimes on Monday mornings, I watch it to get a laugh. But yesterday, last night, in a big-time game, the Battle of Wilson. He was probably stone cold, wasn't he? Listen, dude, he had a towel like John Thompson. And when I tell you, he was cool as a fan. And that game was hectic. He was cool. Like, no emotion. His boys could hear him. They could retain the information. He was making adjustments. And, I mean, quite frankly, he coached his ass off. And of course, Coach Shaw did too. But you got to bring your A game against him. But I just want to acknowledge that, right? Like, leading these matchups, like, these are 2 great coaches that have the pulse and the heartbeat of their team. So that's going to make for a great game. And they're going to play again in the playoffs. 100%. 100%. And I think what I'm interested to see is, do both these teams show their stuff, knowing that matchup with higher stakes is down the line, or is it just what's rolled? That's what I'm intrigued to see. So this is what I think. I think if you're Southern Wake, you have to.
I agree because it's a new regime. You're coming. A win against Wilson Prep would be a statement to the whole state.
And you need to know what works, what doesn't work, and use the rest of the year to make the adjustments to that point. So you have to. If I'm coaching them on their life,
and if you're Wilson Prep,
I ain't showing nothing.
Vanilla.
I ain't got nothing. I'm coming to that chest out. I got ice.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta beat us.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play hard, respect them, but I got ice.
Yeah. 100%.
Should do.
Oh, and that's it. We have 3 events in 3 area codes this weekend, and we're excited about it. So just to remind everybody, big one's going down. Hoops and Dreams, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 910, cover. Lucas Moore Realty, it's going to be a great event. PHENOM LAKESGIVIng, Lake Norman. Then we're in Raleigh,
Absolutely.
the 919. Hoop State Hoopsgiving, where else but the God? I mean, right?
That's it, dog.
That's all it is. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see y'all soon.